Hello, and welcome to another English story. Today's story is called The Birthday Surprise. It is a simple and heartwarming story about friendship, kindness, and an unexpected moment. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. Let's begin. Emma was a young woman who lived in a small apartment in the middle of a busy city. She had a simple life. Every morning she woke up early, prepared her breakfast, and got ready for work. She enjoyed her routine because it gave her a sense of comfort and peace. Emma worked as an administrative assistant in a small company. She had been working there for almost 3 years. She liked her job because she enjoyed helping people. Her co-workers often came to her whenever they needed help with documents, schedules, or small problems at work. Even though Emma was busy, she always tried to be kind and helpful. She believed that small acts of kindness could make someone's day better. Today was a special day. It was Emma's birthday. When she opened her eyes in the morning, she looked at the date on her phone and smiled. She sat on her bed for a moment and quietly said, "Happy birthday, Emma." There was no one else in the room, but she still smiled. Emma did not expect a big celebration. She was not someone who wanted expensive gifts or fancy parties. For her, birthdays were about spending time with people who cared about her. However, this year was a little different. Her parents lived in another city, and they could not visit her. Her closest friends were busy with their own lives. Everyone had work, responsibilities, and their own problems. Emma understood that. Still, deep inside, she hoped someone would remember her special day. She walked into the kitchen and made herself a cup of coffee. While drinking her coffee, she looked outside the window. The streets were already becoming busy. People were walking quickly, cars were moving, and stores were opening. The city was starting another normal day. Emma prepared a simple breakfast and checked her phone. She saw a few birthday messages from her family members and old friends. She smiled while reading them. One message was from her mother. "Happy birthday, my dear. We are proud of you. Have a beautiful day." Emma read the message twice. She missed her parents. She missed having breakfast with them and celebrating special moments together. After replying to everyone, she got ready for work. She chose her favorite blue dress because it always made her feel confident. Before leaving her apartment, she looked in the mirror and smiled. "Today is going to be a good day," she said. Then she picked up her bag and left for work. The journey to the office took around 30 minutes. Emma usually traveled by bus because she enjoyed watching the city through the window. On the way, she saw people going to work, children going to school, and couples walking together. Everyone seemed busy with their own lives. When she reached the office building, she smiled at the security guard. "Good morning, Mr. Wilson." "Good morning, Emma. Have a great day," he replied. Emma walked into the office with a happy expression. She expected someone to notice her birthday, maybe a simple happy birthday, maybe a small smile, maybe a friendly wish. But nothing happened. She walked to her desk and turned on her computer. Her co-worker Sarah walked past her desk. "Good morning, Emma," Sarah said. "Good morning, Sarah." Sarah smiled and quickly walked away. Emma looked at her for a moment. That was strange, she thought. Usually, Sarah stopped and talked with her for a few minutes. Soon, everyone started working. The office became busy with phone calls, emails, and meetings. Emma started her work too. She answered emails, organized files, and helped her manager prepare some documents. After an hour, she noticed something unusual. People were acting differently. Whenever she entered the break room, conversations suddenly stopped. When she walked near a group of co-workers, they became quiet and looked at each other. Emma noticed it, but she did not understand why. Maybe they are talking about work, she thought. She tried not to worry. Around 11 o'clock, her best friend David arrived at the office. David and Emma had been friends for many years. They met during college and stayed close even after starting their careers. Usually, David was the first person to wish her on her birthday. He always remembered important dates. When David saw Emma, he smiled. "Good morning, Emma." "Good morning, David." Emma waited for him to say something more, but David only looked at his watch. "I'm sorry, I have to finish something before my meeting. We will talk later." Then he quickly walked away. Emma stood there silently. She felt confused. Did he forget, she wondered, but she quickly pushed the thought away. No, maybe he is just busy. At lunchtime, Emma walked to the cafeteria with her lunchbox. Usually she ate with David and a few other co-workers, but today everyone seemed busy. Sarah said she had an important call. Another co-worker said he had a meeting. David said he had something to finish. One by one, everyone left. Emma sat alone at the table. She opened her lunchbox and looked around the cafeteria. It was quiet. She looked at her phone again. There were no new messages. For a moment she felt disappointed. She was not angry. She was not upset with anyone. She just felt a little lonely. She remembered how birthdays used to feel when she was younger. Her family would decorate the house, prepare her favorite food, and spend the whole day together. Now, life was different. People grew up. People became busy. And sometimes special days became ordinary days. Emma took a deep breath and smiled. "It's okay," she whispered. "A birthday is just one day." She finished her lunch and returned to work. The afternoon passed slowly. Emma continued working, but she kept noticing strange things. Her co-workers were smiling more than usual. People were walking in and out of the meeting room. Someone was carrying colorful bags. Another person was hiding something behind a desk. Emma became more curious. What is happening today? She wondered. At around 4 o'clock, David came to her desk. "Emma, are you free after work?" Emma looked surprised. "After work? Why?" David smiled. "I need your help with something. It will only take a few minutes." Emma looked at him carefully. She felt that something was different, but she couldn't understand what it was. "Okay," she said. David smiled. "Great, I'll meet you near the entrance." Then he walked away. Emma looked around the office. Everyone seemed to know something except her. She had no idea that the people around her were preparing a memory she would never forget. A surprise that would make her realize how much she was loved, and a birthday she would always remember. Emma looked around the office one more time before shutting down her computer. It had been a long day. Although she had finished all her work, she still couldn't stop thinking about how strange everyone had been acting. The whispers, the smiles, and David's unusual behavior made her curious, but she had no idea what was really happening. She packed her bag, switched off her desk lamp, and walked toward the main entrance. Most of her co-workers had already left, or at least that was what she believed. The office felt quieter than usual, and the long hallway seemed almost empty. David was waiting near the entrance with a warm smile on his face. He looked much more relaxed than he had all day. "Ready?" he asked. Emma smiled politely. "I guess so. Where are we going?" David pointed toward the conference room at the end of the hallway. "I just need your opinion on something before we leave." Emma laughed softly. "My opinion? At the end of the day? This must be important." David simply smiled and said, "Trust me." Together, they walked slowly down the hallway. Emma noticed that the lights near the conference room were turned off. The room looked completely dark. She stopped walking. "David, why is it so dark?" He shrugged. "Maybe someone forgot to switch on the lights." Emma reached for the door handle. As soon as she opened the door, everything changed. The lights suddenly came on. "Happy birthday, Emma!" The room exploded with cheers, laughter, and applause. Emma stood frozen. Colorful balloons covered the walls. Bright ribbons hung from the ceiling. A beautiful birthday banner stretched across the room, and in the center stood a large chocolate cake decorated with fresh strawberries and glowing candles. Every one of her co-workers was there. Sarah waved excitedly. Mr. Wilson, the security guard, was smiling near the door. Even the office manager was clapping with a huge grin. Emma placed both hands over her mouth. She couldn't say a single word. Tears slowly filled her eyes. You remembered?" David laughed. "Of course we remembered." Sarah walked over and gave Emma a warm hug. "Did you really think we would forget your birthday?" Emma smiled through her tears. "For a while, yes." Everyone laughed kindly. David pointed toward the cake. "We had to pretend all day. It was the hardest secret we've ever kept." Another co-worker smiled. "Every time you walked into the break room, we had to stop talking because we were planning everything." Emma suddenly remembered all the strange conversations, the nervous smiles, and everyone disappearing during lunch. Now it all made sense. She laughed loudly. "So that's why everyone was acting so strangely." The room filled with laughter once again. David carefully placed a birthday hat on Emma's head. Now the birthday girl finally knows the truth. Everyone gathered around the table. The lights were dimmed again, leaving only the soft glow of the birthday candles. Together, everyone began singing. "Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Emma. Happy birthday to you." Emma closed her eyes before blowing out the candles. Instead of wishing for gifts or success, she made a simple wish. "I hope I always have people like this in my life." The candles went out. The room burst into applause again. After the cake was cut, everyone enjoyed a slice together. People laughed, shared funny office stories, and took dozens of photos. The room was filled with happiness. For the first time that day, Emma forgot all about feeling lonely. A little later, the office manager stood up and tapped a spoon gently against a glass. "I'd like to say a few words." The room became quiet. "Emma, during the last 3 years, you've helped every person in this office. You never complain, you're always patient, and you're the first person to offer help whenever someone needs it." Several co-workers nodded in agreement. "You make this office a better place. This celebration is our way of saying thank you." Emma felt her eyes filling with tears again. She never realized that her everyday kindness had meant so much to others. Then David walked forward, holding a small gift wrapped in blue paper. "This one is from all of us." Emma carefully opened the package. Inside was a beautiful photo album. On the first page was a picture from her very first day at work. The next pages were filled with photographs from office parties, team lunches, holiday celebrations, birthdays, funny moments, and group trips. Each picture had a small handwritten message beside it. "Thank you for always helping me. You always make people smile. You're more than a co-worker, you're family. Never stop being yourself." Emma slowly turned each page. Every message touched her heart. By the last page, tears were gently rolling down her cheeks. She looked up at everyone. "I don't know what to say," David smiled. "You don't have to say much." Emma took a deep breath. "All day I thought everyone had forgotten my birthday." Several people smiled. I felt a little sad. But now I understand. She looked around the room. This isn't just a workplace. It's a family. The room became completely silent. Then everyone clapped once more. The evening continued with games, music, and conversations. They laughed about old memories and created new ones together. Outside, the sun slowly disappeared below the city skyline. Inside the office, however, the room felt brighter than ever. When the celebration finally ended, David walked Emma to the bus stop. They stood quietly for a moment. "You were very convincing today," Emma said with a smile. David laughed. "It was difficult not wishing you all day." "I'm glad you didn't." "Really?" "Because this surprise was worth every minute." David smiled. "I knew you'd say that." The lights were slowly turning off, but her heart felt brighter than ever. On the journey home, she thought about everything that had happened. She realized something important. People don't always show how much they care every single day. Sometimes they choose the perfect moment to remind you. When Emma reached home, she placed the photo album on her table. Before going to bed, she opened it once more and smiled at every picture. She no longer felt lonely. She felt thankful. She felt loved. And she knew that this birthday would remain one of the happiest memories of her life. True happiness doesn't come from expensive gifts or big celebrations. It comes from the love, kindness, and friendship of the people who genuinely care about us. Sometimes the greatest surprise is discovering just how much you mean to others. Thank you for listening to Learn English Through Stories. We hope you enjoyed the story and learned some new English along the way. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more English stories. See you in the next story. Happy learning.